Now, although I've already been back in work, today is our first official day back of January. Ash is already here. We've already sorted a few bits. He's just going to pull up. We're going to move this trailer out of the way, and we've got to take the tipper with us today. So get all the equipment that we need for the day into the Ranger, and we'll head off to the first job.
So once all the kit's packed up, we can start heading to site, and we've got to travel about an hour this morning to get to site. And on the way, it absolutely starts chucking it down with snow, and it looks like it's starting to settle. So what we're going to have to do is just make it to site and have a little bit of a rolling risk assessment when we get to site to see if we can conduct the work.
Classic. This job has been booked in for a couple of months now with like today's date in mind, and on the way up here it absolutely started belting with snow, so going to speak to them, make sure that they're happy for us to carry on. If not, then we'll have to come back. If they are happy for us to carry on, then we'll smash it out in the snow, I guess, see what happens.
So after speaking to the facilities manager, they're happy for us to proceed, and we're just going to carry on with caution. So we've got to trim back everything overhanging the boundary and the fence line here, so we get started with that, start on all the sides, and then we can do the tops as well.
Tell me we should have got a chipper without telling me you should have got a chipper.
Can I get a higher?
Today in the night garden.
The weather has settled, no more snow on the ground, and we've smashed this side out, so everything that's overhanging this side, we've now just got to jump the other side of the fence and get all of that sorted as well. But yeah, we've made good progress, to be fair. Done better than I thought we would today just because of the weather conditions. But just out the front of the building now, sorting some hedges out, packing the trailer up, and then we'll go around to the other side of the boundary.
So now that we've finished the area that you just saw us conducting, we're now just going to jump at the front of the building and tidy all of the shrubbery out the front. Then get the trailer packed up, and once that's done, we can give the front a quick blow down and make sure all the back is tidy as well before we head round to the other side of the fence, which is here. Only a few little overhanging branches here, so we can get them sorted, and then we head to the waste facility straight after that job. We're over at Rubbish to Go in Northampton. Brilliant place, tip our green waste. And once we get all of the green waste offloaded here and we generate that nice little green waste brick for them, we can then get back to the unit and get some more bits sorted.
So one of the greatest things about being in this industry at this time of year is emergency call-outs. And we've been called out to a fallen tree over one of our sites, which is now over a brook. So Ash is just over there. The limb is still attached to the root, so we're just going to get that clear and then probably process the wood and get it in the trailer. Nice little emergency call out, not too bad. Let's get on with it. Say that again.
Do you reckon that will go in one piece? Or are we going it?
Or maybe we could cut it up. What do you reckon?
Yeah, cut it up, yeah.
Cut it up?
Yeah.
Right, Ash, the gaffer says, rather than trying to manhandle that in one piece, we've got to cut it up.
Get your welding on.
So despite Jack's amazing suggestion, what we ended up doing was tying the winch around the tree. We believed it was the safest method due to the water course. And then Ash just trims the end and we try pulling the tree out of the brook, which we did manage to do in 2 pieces.
Nice and quick, easy one. However, we've now got another full trailer. Everything's been processed. The brook is now clear and running freely. Took the stump down, and we've also noted a few trees that could do with some work, so we're going to advise the customer on that. Now we've got nothing exciting, just need to get back to the unit, get fueled up ready for tomorrow, and get all of the kit ready for tomorrow. So we shall see you on Tuesday.
So it's Tuesday morning and Ash and the lads are at the yard. They've got the trailer on and they've got the tools ready to head over to the first site, which is a school. Now this hedge boundary is actually technically meant to be maintained by the council, and they've done one side, but they haven't done all the stuff that's actually overgrown into our client's property. So we've got to reduce the height of this today and keep it away from our client's fence. Now this stuff inside is ours, so we're going to tidy that up as well. And you can just about see this fence here. This stuff isn't ours, but we're doing it for the client. So they're just generating all of the waste, bagging it up and working their way down the long length of hedging adjacent to this road. We're going to reduce the height on it, and then in the future we're just going to keep on top of it and keep maintaining it, because it's probably going to be easier. The council come along with a flail once a year, but it ends up encroaching into the Astro and causing us problems. So we might as well just maintain it. Do you guys have similar issues on any of your sites? Anyway, they're making good progress.
So you've seen that the lads have been out and about starting the hedging this morning, and I am just at the unit. I had an appointment this morning, but I'm now at the unit. I mentioned in a video just before the Christmas break that there's a few things on the Fastrac we need to sort out. So let me show you them. There's a massive exhaust blow, and we've had that since we've had the tractor. I bought it knowing that it had an exhaust blow, so it needs a replacement all the way up. But what we didn't know is a couple of the studs are missing from the exhaust manifold, which means we're going to have to get that stripped off and have a specialist come in to re-tap those holes and things like that. I did get a quote from JCB to have it done, and it was a substantial amount of money, so we're going to be running that ourselves. One of the other issues that we had, which I'm working on today, is I've got intermittent heating and I was losing coolant. I wasn't drastically losing coolant, but it was enough to notice. So I've bought a few things off of Amazon. Again, we got quoted a ridiculous amount of money. I've already taken a look at it this morning, but I just want to show you guys in case anyone out there is having any similar issues. You might be able to save yourself a lot of money. So let's show you what I've done. So first thing I went and got was this, which is a coolant pressure tester, and it's also got a vacuum fill, so we can make sure we fill the coolant on the tractor without any air leaks. Now this cost me about £90 from Amazon, and they're fantastic bits of kit, so I'll put a link in the description for all of the kit that I'm going to mention now of how we fix this. The first thing I did was attach it to the header tank, and we just put some pressure in the system to create a vacuum, and there was a slight leak, but I couldn't see where it was coming from. So I also got hold of one of these, which is a smoke detector. And you basically fill it up with mineral oil. This is the mineral oil I've been using, just a Sealy leak detector. And you then put that into your header tank, run the system, connect it to 12 volts, run the system, and it produces smoke. And then any areas that are leaking, you obviously see visible smoke coming out. Now this is a great bit of kit that you can use on hydraulics, boost systems, so if you've got a turbo leak, exhaust systems, air intake, anything, combustion, you can see any leaks that are there, but we've used it for coolant today, and what a bit of kit it was. I'd noticed quite a lot of smoke coming from this area, and I'd managed to track the smoke down to this small little hose coming from the header tank to the top of the engine block. So we're going to go try and get a replacement hose for that now. On the way, I'm going to jump in and see the lads because they're at a job site that is on the way to where I need to go. And when we get back, I'm going to have to fit that hose, and we're going to use that coolant pressure tester that I showed you to vacuum fill the coolant to make sure that there's no air leaks and stuff. We can also test to make sure that that was the only leak on the system. So fingers crossed, we've saved ourselves a bunch of money. All in all, I've spent about probably 150 quid in diagnostics. And the bill that we would have got was substantially more than that, so fingers crossed. Anyway, let's go see the lads and go get this new coolant hose. Happy days! Been to Bed's Battery in Wellingborough. I've already dropped in and spoke to the lads there, doing extremely well today, and I've managed to get myself some coolant hose. Got about 3 times more than I needed because we all know how it goes. Hopefully that's the problem. I'm going to go back to site now with the lads, and then we'll continue with the tractor saga later this afternoon. And just to tally the costs up, that coolant hose cost me about 6 quid. So we're definitely beating main dealer repair prices.
Big time.
You're not done yet?
Taking a bit.
So the lads have made excellent progress on that boundary hedge. We've got a trailer full of waste. We just need to get the kit and the ladders in the van, and then we're going to stick the trailer on the Ranger. I'm going to take the Ranger to the compost facility, and Ash will drop back the ladders, and we will reconvene at the unit. Right, the trailer is empty and we're back at the tractor. So first thing I'm going to do is cut my new hose to length. We'll get that installed, get the pressure tester back on it, and hopefully be able to fill it up with coolant. Lovely stuff. New hose is on. Going to jump at the top now, pressure test it. If it's holding pressure, then we'll get air full with coolant and see if I got heating back. Big time. All right, step one, find the cap that fits the header tank, or the correct cap. And we just, you get this cool little tool as well just to do that up. I'm not going to go mental with it, just make sure it's nipped. And there we go, lovely stuff. Then grab our basically essentially bike pump, connect that on. And then, I can't do this one-handed, but you got to pump it up. All right, there we go. You can see I've not gone mental with it, so I'm about half a bar on the bar now. I'm basically just going to leave that now. 5-10 minutes, come back to it, double check it. If it's still the same, then we should be good. If it has dropped, I'm going to stick the smoke fog machine back on it and see if we got any more leaks. If it is good, we'll get coolant in her. Right, she is running. We're going to run her up to temperature and see if the heating works. Had to jump start the old girl because she'd gone flat and I forgot to put the isolator on her. We did another leak test, couldn't see any problems, so we've just gone for it, got the coolant in. Read the operator's manual. I didn't need to vacuum fill that coolant system, so basically it just says top the header tank up and run it for like 5 to 10 minutes at operating temperature, so that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, time will tell. Got a few bits to do in the unit, got to swap about a couple of trailers, get the tools ready for tomorrow, and I'll keep you posted on the tractor. Don't want to speak too soon, but the tractor's temperature's definitely acting a lot better. It seems to be getting hotter quicker, but I'm not really going to know if I've sorted the heating until tomorrow morning. Because of the size of the engine on the tractor, it takes a while to warm up, so I'm not going to be able to get it to the temperature that I need to get it to until tomorrow. And we are out flaying hedges tomorrow, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I've got heating. I'm now doing a favour for one of Ash's family members whose van has broken down, and me and Ash are just running over there to try and recover it with the trailer. So the working day is done, but we're going out continuing with our good deeds of the day. Anyway, we'll have a look when we get there.
Fix it again tomorrow. Of course, she went on the trailer lovely. Straight up with our winch. What an asset this trailer is. Anyway, we'll get this to the repair shop and we can start up again in the morning. And it's -3 on the next morning. Would you believe it? Oh, God.
We're starting off Wednesday well. I've drove to the unit, it is like -3 or something silly like that. Got to the unit to warm the tractor up and the battery's flat again. I jump started it yesterday, but obviously didn't leave it running long enough. Either that or both batteries are knackered, which sounds expensive. So just at the unit, grab the jump starter, we'll get that started up and wait for the lads to arrive. Yeah, heating's definitely not kicked in yet. Feels weird jumping in this for the morning, but first time of the year, very, very happy indeed. Anyway, it's absolutely freezing in here, so gonna make my way over to the first job and hope that it warms up. It's literally like -5 in this cab. It is freezing. Anyway, we've met up with the point of contacts at the first job. There's a few pretty technical, tricky areas with the flail. I'm going to get those bits done first, which I probably won't film, and I'll show you how I got around some of the tricky bits once I've done it. And obviously if we come up with any issues, I'll film that. The lads are just getting their hand tools ready, and they're going to do any areas that I can't reach because of tractor height or reach.
So once I've done all the tricky bits, that went really, really well. We've now got this main road hedge to do as well, which backs onto the field. I'm going to try and do most of it from the roadside just to stop any impact on the ground with the tractor weight. But let's get started. Now in those last few clips you could see that I've got the flail head fairly high in comparison to the hedge, whilst enjoying a coffee of course. That's because the customer wants to try and train the hedge to be a bit higher in that area due to cricket. But at the bottom of this field we managed to get nice and tight, and the ground was taking it absolutely lovely. So good job done.
Okay, so we're all parked up in the car park, pretty much sorted on the field now. All of the other bits we're going to have to grab by hand, but everything's looking good. Any bits that we are grabbing by hand, obviously flail completely destroys the mess, but as you just saw, Will is just grabbing the waste there. Done the top of this one, just need to do the side. But yeah, because there is cricket on this field, normally we would take the hedge lower than that to kind of where the growth points were from last year. But the customers requested it to be fairly high, so it's quite spindly. But yeah, one of them in this summer when it starts to leaf, it'll look amazing. And then down here we've gone nice and tight. I'm just going to jump on the toolkit because someone's given me a suggestion on the Fastrac forum about my heater. So I'm persisting, and it is definitely warmer outside than in the cab. Still baffled by the heating, and I got very, very agitated. Anyway, I'm going to leave the lads now. I'm just got to pop somewhere to get something measured up for the tractor to hopefully be repaired before cutting season. The lads have just got to tidy up a few other areas and then get back to the unit where we're all going to meet. But once I've been to my place to get the tractor measured up, we'll be back together. So let's get down there and see what I'm doing. So the team over at Deutsche Tech have given us a price, and we've actually booked the tractor in to have the exhaust done. However, the manifold on the tractor, the exhaust manifold, is blowing. So when we purchased the tractor, we got stiffed a little bit, and there's 2 broken studs in the block. So I've booked that in for next week. Someone's going to come out and repair that. So this afternoon we've stripped the manifold and stripped the turbo off of the tractor, ready for them to come next week and do the work on that. So it's been a productive afternoon, a productive morning, got a lot done today, very happy. Tomorrow I'm pretty much running around quoting, and the lads are going to be on site, so we'll see you then.
And it is now Thursday, and we're on site with the team over at Primark. They've got loads of hedging to do, which is on the banks today, and some tidying up around the site. So they get started with all of the hedge cutting. It's not too bad, it just needs neatening up and a little bit of a winter cutback for some of the areas. There's been quite a few areas on this bank that we've not been able to maintain due to a landslip, and it had to be pinned and reformed. So the areas that weren't accessible to us, which you can see here, the lads are getting on top of and tidying and making a very good job of it. It's quite nice that we can now get to this area, because this was the last piece of the puzzle for this site to be tidied before putting it to bed, ready for the summer. But they're on top of it, and it's all starting to take shape and look good. Another trailer full of waste, which they can get to the facilities.
So as you've seen, it is Thursday and the lads have been on site this morning. I've had a little bit of an admin morning, had a couple of quotes, and I've got quite a large quote coming up this afternoon. However, it's been delayed, so I've just come back to the unit to get a few little jobs done. I want to get the inside of the Polaris cleaned out. I was using it over the Christmas period to ferry my son about when we were going out to woods and stuff like that, so the inside's minging, so I'm going to sort that out, and there's a few bits of wiring I need to tidy up on that. And I also need to jump on the computer and get some admin work done. And whilst we're on the subject of jobs, yesterday afternoon we finished stripping the exhaust manifold off of the Fastrac, and I did call round to the main dealers in the area for the Fastrac to try and get some quotes on the parts needed. Now, genuine JCB parts are not cheap. However, I channeled my inner Matt Armstrong and I found some really good part suppliers for the engine parts that we need. Now, it is a Cummins engine, so I just, rather than Google JCB parts, I was Googling the engine parts, and they are now on order and hopefully going to be here by the weekend, fingers crossed. New thermostat, new heater valve, new temperature sensor,
Exhaust manifold studs, they need re-drilling and tapping. 2 or 3 of them from the previous owner had snapped some studs in there, so they need sorting out. And then back together, new exhaust at Deutsch Tech, and we should be good to go for the summer, apart from a good service. I have ordered the filters for that. However, the fluids alone are going to be over 600 quid, so that might be an April, May job. What do you want? What do you want? We've got things to do. Right, let's get on, get the hoover out and get this cleaned. Okay, cleaning done. Now we're starting to fit our Tracknology kit. There'll be an in-depth installation video coming out when we receive the rest of our kit. Some of the wiring loom's extremely long, so I'm just going to go through that now and shorten some of the cables and neaten the installation up. Now, I've already shortened the cable to the length I want it, and I'm going to be using these solder connectors. If you're forever wiring, these are worth their weight in gold. Get yourself a good pair of wire strippers and the solder connectors, and I'll show you how to use them just now. Just need a heat gun, slip the connector over with some heat shrink, heat it up, job's a good one. Right, that is the wiring all tidied up, happy days. I'm just going to jump on my laptop, check the emails, and then I'm going to head off to this quote. I don't know if someone's going to be going round with me. I'm going to go in the gator because it's quite a large acreage and I want to be able to get round the site. But if I can, I'll film and talk you through my process when I'm quoting. Okay, so I am at the quote. It's a pretty big quote, I can't lie, and it's one that I'm definitely excited about. We had a boardroom meeting and then we just had a quick walk around site with the 2 facilities leads. And I'm just running around in the gator now trying to plot boundaries and figure out how much acreage there is. And then once I've done that, I'm going to get home and start working on this quote straight away. But yeah, it's definitely an exciting one. I wonder if anyone can guess where I am. Friday morning. It is -6. Would you believe it? -6 in Milton Keynes. This isn't Scotland. What's going on? Anyway, absolutely lovely morning. Nice and crisp. And we have got to go brush some athletic pitches. I say we, I mean me and Maggie. Anyway, Ash and the lads will be in later on. They've got a housing estate to go and do the hedges at, and then some line marking. So we'll see how the day unfolds. So we're over at the first synthetic pitch and we're basically knocking the frost off of them this morning. We normally brush them to distribute the crumb, but we need to get rid of the frost so people can train on them today. And it's quite therapeutic work. Although it's absolutely freezing, it's quite nice to see that frost be brushed away. Now this is number 1 out of 4 for the day. Once that's done, we can get the brushes on the trailer and transport them to the next site that needs brushing, which is this one. And it's turning into a nice glorious morning, although it is -6. We can just get cracking with it. With 2 of us, we can knock them out quite quickly. And we're over at number 3 of the day now, which is quite nice because number 4's just at the bottom of the hill. So cracking on with number 3 with 2 of us, smashing out those frosty lines. Once this is done, we can go down the hill to number 4, which is this one. And once we've done number 4, we can then take the brushes back to where they're stored. So the lads have also been working and they've been at this estate getting in top of all of the hedges and any untidy bits. And they then come to this site. This is our last site that needs line marking. Although there's probably not going to be games that go ahead this weekend because it's not safe, we're starting to lose the lines. So we need to keep on top of it. Any lines that we're struggling to see, we make sure are roboted. And once that's done, we're pretty much done for the day and can get all of our checks done at the unit. And that is us done, and we're now done sorting all of the pitches. We've returned the brushes to their home. I'm on site where Ash is, just had a quick catch up with him. I'm now going to go back to the unit. We've got to go through all of the kit, make sure all the weekly checks are done. Got some admin to do. Finished off my quote last night for that exciting quote. Sent off, and we've already had correspondence on that, so just need to have a conversation with them. Yeah, it's looking good. It's been a good week, despite the tractor problems. I'm sure everything can be sorted, but yeah,
let us know how your week's gone, how you've been managing with the sub-zero temperatures, and we'll see you in the next one.